Before you settle near Greenville, South Carolina, I want to share with you where the locals are moving to. Whether you're relocating or just trying to find the best area to move to in 2025, I want to break each specific location down for you. And it's going to come with a twist. I'm not only going to share the good stuff, I'm going to share one of the negative things that I hear about each location as well, so that you're well informed. First, let's start with Simpsonville, South Carolina. This is one of the most well-established suburbs in the area. Overall, it has very strong school ratings. It is a very well-developed suburb where you have Costco, you have Sam's Club, you've got all kinds of different main thoroughfares where you can hit all of your big box stores and even local boutiques. This tends to be a great place for people when they want to commute as well, because 385 and 85 tend to be very close by, so you can get in and out to wherever you want to go. Another huge thing that really draws people to Simpsonville is overall there's a great affordability price per square foot. So you can get a really large home that really fits well for someone moving in that needs a lot of extra space. In addition to all of those things, the downtown of Simpsonville has gone through a complete revitalization over the last 5 to 7 years. There's been a lot of great businesses that have come there, and there's even more plans that will happen in the future. There has been an area where the park has been developed, and they even have disc golf, frisbee golf in that specific location in the downtown. You're really close to this area called Heritage Park, which has a playground, also athletic facilities, and they even do concerts in the summer that are outdoors. So that's a big attraction for a lot of people. The other thing that people really like is the downtown of Fountain Inn is close by. They do everything from a Christmas parade to having local shops to local restaurants and so much more. What I tend to find being the biggest drawback of the Simpsonville area is that people will find that that area has more congestion and maybe more traffic in some of those hotspot areas. When you're near Woodruff Road or Fairview Road, there's a lot of people that are going there not only to go to and from their houses, but to go shopping. So you're gonna hit some of that traffic congestion while you're there. Of course, that's also some of the benefits, as everything is really close by in proximity, and you can go and you can hit all of these big hot spots. Second area is Travelers Rest. Travelers Rest is an area that has grown a lot over the last few years. What makes Travelers Rest really attractive for people is that you see less traffic congestion here, you see less population density, you have beautiful scenic views of the mountains. The downtown of Travelers Rest is really incredible. You have the Swamp Rabbit Trail, which connects right through the downtown, tons of local shops, you can go kayaking and do so much more. Furman University is close by. You can get into downtown Greenville, depending on where you're at, 15 minutes to 25 minutes in that area. There's some really beautiful communities and homes there, some great golf courses, so people really are attracted to a lot of these things. Two other really big advantages that people find living in Travelers Rest is it has a very strong local community. People really support the local businesses there. There's a lot of pride in being in that area and really supporting all of your neighbors. You'll also find that they do a farmer's market in one of the parks in the downtown area. Something else that is a huge advantage is you're really close to the state park Paris Mountain, which with people who want to go hiking, kayaking, just go out for a nice walk in nature, is a really attractive option to be so close by. What we tend to hear is the biggest drawback of this area is that it's a little bit more challenging to get to the main interstates. There's some highways, there's a couple different routes you can go, but compared to Simpsonville, like I shared before, it's not as easy to get to 385 or 85 to get on the major interstates. Now let's talk about our third area, Greer. Some things that people really love about this area is the downtown of Greer is phenomenal. They have cobblestone streets, they have tons of shops to go to, restaurants, breweries, coffee shops, and they even have a park that's downtown. And in that park, they'll even do like plays, concerts, and a lot of other things. So this is a really attractive option. It really brings the community together by having this main downtown that connects so many people together. People also love there's some really strong school systems in the Greer area. There are everything from brand new builds that are in Greer to well-established communities and homes that are near the downtown. And there's even communities that have really great lots and are really known as some of the best communities here in the upstate. The other thing that people really like about the Greer area is it's tucked right in between Greenville and Spartanburg, making it kind of the best of both worlds if you want to go hit each city, or if you're commuting to Spartanburg for work, but maybe you gravitate more towards Greenville where you want to spend your free time. That gives you that flexibility there, where within less than a half hour you can be to both locations. The other thing is Greer actually has the airport as well, so if you want to be close to the Greenville-Spartanburg airport, being in Greer is a great option for you. The other thing is some of the major employers like Michelin and BMW are in that area as well, just making it a really great area to commute to work. What I tend to find the biggest drawbacks for being in the Greer area is I-85. So I-85 is super convenient to drive to and from and to get to different places. What I really tend to see is not necessarily traffic congestion. What we tend to see is there's accidents on I-85. That tends to be a hot spot for them in our areas. That's a drawback for a lot of people. The next thing is, if you're not accustomed to it, because you are close to the airport, guess what? You're gonna have airplanes that may fly over your house or nearby. So that might take some time to get used to. The good news is it is commercial flights, so you shouldn't have a flight, a plane going over your house at 2 a.m. or anything like that, but it is something to be aware of. The next location that we need to talk about is Malden. This is a very underrated suburb. What makes Malden so underrated is for a long time, it was one of the first suburbs that was developed in our area, and they had some great homes, they had some pretty strong school systems, but we just didn't see as much revitalization, as much commercial development. And Malden overall, just other areas started seeing more development than Malden. Well, over the past few years, Malden has really stepped up their game. They brought in Bridgeway Station as their new downtown area, which is attracting all kinds of people that really love it. They're also bringing in the soccer stadium for both of the men and women's team that's here is gonna be in that Bridgeway Station area. There's walking paths there. Overall, just making Malden an even more attractive option. The Butler Road area of Malden is also developed as well, where you have your national retailers and your local boutiques there as well. We're seeing a lot of people are buying homes, doing renovations and living in there because they're finding price per square foot wise, Malden can be one of the more affordable areas in the upstate. And they really just love all the options that Malden offers them. And Malden is really close to downtown Greenville, depending on where you're at, and you have quick access to the interstate, so offering you a lot of really great things. As far as what tends to be the biggest drawback of the Malden area, of course, as it's growing and you're getting more people coming there that just don't live in the local area, you're gonna get a little more traffic. So along the Butler Road area with all the things that are there, you're gonna see more traffic build up. That tends to be one of the negative things that I hear. The other thing to know is that Malden is a smaller city, so there doesn't tend to be as many options available for homes to purchase if you look in that area. The next area to discuss is Taylor's. That tends to be a big local favorite. Overall, Taylor's, depending on where you're at, can be really close to downtown Greenville. You can have really great access, and you also can have good access to the highways. Taylor's overall has a lot of communities that will have a little bit larger lot sizes, a little bit more space in between their neighbors. Up until recently, Taylor's didn't have a ton of new construction. We are getting a few communities that are coming to the area, especially in the northern part of Taylor's, but more in the southern part, we haven't had much, and there's gonna be a few that are gonna be popping up. The Taylor's Mill area is something that people find really attractive. This is kind of serving as the downtown of Taylor. Since Taylor's doesn't have a true downtown at this point, there is a really great restaurant that's there. There's a brewery, there is a pinball and like arcade place, a few other like axe throwing. So there's several things that you can do there. People really like a lot of the parks that are in this area, and you're also close to Paris Mountain. You can get up to Lake Robinson, you can get to the mountains really quickly. So people really tend to like that and like the lifestyle and the scenery that you get with a lot of mature trees, mountains in the background, or maybe even a lake. The Taylor's area also has a lower population density compared to a city like Simpsonville. So people like that, where there's not as much traffic congestion and there's not as many people around, if that is what they're searching for. Another thing to know is that Wade Hampton is nearby, which gives you access all the way into downtown Greenville and just gives you options for shopping. Everything from your Target to your grocery stores, your Walmarts, all that stuff is on Wade Hampton, just giving you the accessibility, but being in an area where you don't necessarily have to go to it unless you want to. As far as what I tend to hear to be the biggest drawback of Taylor's is more of the noise. What I mean by noise is there's several trains that run by in the Taylor's area. And you also have the potential of airplanes coming through just because Taylor's is close to the Greer area as well. So just something to be aware of. And if those are concerns for you, make sure you pay attention to train tracks and make sure you pay attention to flight paths. The next suburb on our list is Fountain Inn. Fountain Inn is an area that has grown a lot over the last few years. You'll find everything from houses with acreage that were built in the 50s and 60s to brand new construction communities. What's made Fountain Inn really attractive is it offers a lot of the benefits that Simpsonville does, being so close. It has its own downtown, which is smaller and has its little main street with local places to go, has quick access to the interstate of 385, which leads you right onto 85 as well. Tends to be a great commuter city. It's overall very affordable compared to some of the other suburbs in the area, price per square foot wise. For people that are searching for larger lots and want to do it more in a budget-friendly manner, Fountain Inn can be a really great location for some of those older homes that I mentioned. Another thing that can be a big factor is certain parts of Fountain Inn still feel like this, just a quieter, more rural town, and if that's what someone's searching for, that could be a really wonderful option, but also giving you a lot of accessibility with the interstate. The next suburb on our list is the Powdersville-Easley area. I combine these into one because Powdersville is really kind of Easley and Piedmont, but overall you'll hear a lot of people talk about that. What people really love about the Powdersville area is it has some really strong schools in that area. Some other things is Easley has continued to develop, and right there in Easley you've had a lot of commercial development, which offers you a lot of the big box stores and even some of the local economy as well. That Easley Powdersville area, if people are looking for homes on larger lots and they want to do so in a more budget-friendly manner, this can be a really great option for them. These areas are also growing and I think will continue to grow over time. And depending on where you're at, you can have really quick access into downtown Greenville. A lot of people don't realize there's a toll road, actually I-185, that you can hop on in that Piedmont area and some other locations in the upstate and get into Greenville really quickly. And it tends to be significantly less traffic congestion there than you'll see on 385 or 85. And because I mentioned you can get larger lot sizes, people like that it doesn't feel like some of the traffic congestion. Now, if you're in the main thoroughfare of 123 where Easley is at, you're gonna experience some of that traffic. You're gonna be near the Targets and the Hobby Lobbies and all that. Like you're gonna see people that are shopping and there's gonna be more traffic congestion. But once you get outside of that, you're gonna see less of that congestion compared to some of the other places in the upstate. So what are the biggest concerns that I hear people speaking about with this area? Well, overall, there's been less development. There isn't as much of a true downtown scene in the Easley Powdersville area compared to some of the other cities that I've mentioned. And the second thing is growing traffic concerns with 123, like I already mentioned, and some of the other areas and pockets where there's just a little bit more buildup. Overall, the really great thing is that this is a problem that people are aware of and that government officials are dealing with. We've seen this all throughout the upstate where they're expanding roads and they're changing traffic patterns to make them more accommodating to not have that huge traffic buildup. There you have it. There's no perfect place to live, but here's the areas that people really love here in the upstate. Of course, every area has its potential drawback, one or two, but if you're going in well informed and you know what that drawback is and it's not something that really matters to you, or you're well aware of it, you can be a more educated buyer and you could find the perfect place for you. If our team can help you in any way with a relocation process or answering any questions, there's a direct link down below to shoot us an email or schedule a call with us. We'd love to talk to you.